If you play against the player International, the Entente becomes supremely weak again. I'm not sure I agree with that. Because the Entente has enough navies to really contain the International. And if you take all of the coasts around the Union of Britain, which you can easily do with an Entente navy, then that's one of the major players out. Yeah, they can get air forces, but that's about it. Agricultural mechanization is complete. Good. So we can get agricultural cooperatives, so we can get some more civilian factories. And really start rocking our industry. Bussy, you were here, but you'd consumed too much beer, so you don't remember it. Could well be the case. Could well be the case. Alright, so those are still being constructed. That's fine. Those are being done. That's good. In fact, I could send troops up to assist. You know what? I'm going to. I'm going to send Emperor Aiten up here. So we can get some more experience for the elite forces. So how is my equipment reserve? Oh yeah, we can definitely upgrade a few. So like you. Can you upgrade to that? Shortage of support equipment, but yes, essentially you can. Cool. Then the next question is, how are we doing for supply up here? Supply is always a problem. And it is a problem even now. That makes me slightly less interested in getting involved, so no, I'm not going to. Sort out your supply issues and I might do. Until that point though. Let's make sure we have that border fortified. Finsund, thank you very much for the follow. And we have researched a lot. It is January now, so we can get the 1938 techs, including the 50% faster tech speed, so construction and factory. Yeah. Yeah. Almost Welt Creek time. One would hope so. Is the Ottoman Empire actually fighting back? With the exception of having lost Suez, which is never a good time for them, yes. Fighting back in Arabia, and if they can knock Arabia out, then they can turn all of their forces against Egypt. Could be interesting. Hello, Finsand. Also, don't forget about the CSA. Player International will have CNTFAI. Not necessarily. Entente can fight and prop up the Carlists or Kingdom of Spain. Especially if they're not in the war, because the Entente tends to stay out the war while the Second World War is going on. That means that the Entente can send in volunteers while the others cannot. And the Entente doesn't always go to war with Germany, which means the Suez is always going to be open. Or should always be open. Why is Persia not in the Axis? They don't always join. In fact, that's probably the reason the Ottomans are doing so well, is because they're not in it. They're at war with the Afghan? Really? Oh, Russia declared... Interesting. So, we have the Islamic State of Afghanistan at war with Russia and Persia. That could only go well for Russia. Honestly, I mean, nothing bad has ever happened to the Russians in Afghanistan. Are there any of these I can get rid of? Militia units we can get rid of. You we can get rid of. Good. Starting to get rid of some of those. You want non-aggression. I don't want non-aggression. When this war ends, I can decide how much of this land to give to the Japanese. Possibly even to the Russians, because I do have player-led conferences turned on. I've decided I'm fed up with stupid AI borkiness when it comes to that. Playing Hearts of Iron 4 while watching someone play Hearts of Iron 4. That is some pretty impressive multitasking. Alright, no worries, Dana. Enjoy your time in Elite. That's another game I really must try one of these days. Delay, plus 10 organisation for infantry. More defence for infantry. Yes, please. Yeah, Afghanistan really is the graveyard of empires. Ooh, wow, Madras has grown. You don't have a focus tree, do you? Oh. You have, however, taken all of the industrial techs, which means taking over Madras will be quite nice because they will have beefed everything up, plus the Princely Federation will have beefed some stuff up. So that's a lot of industry kicking around down here. Dominion of India is looking pretty strong, though. I might have backed the wrong horse here. Probably not, but it might have. But most likely not. But it's possible. Alright, so we have a lot of artillery surplus. What is your division composition right now? 18. So what I'm thinking is we could do that. We do have the artillery for it. It saves us a little bit of infantry equipment and also manpower. And it increases our soft attack quite significantly, our hard attack a little bit, our defense goes down a bit, breakthrough goes up a bit, and we get more piercing. Plus that's only going to go up. We haven't actually got any of the artillery bonuses from superior firepower yet. At some point we're also going to need to decide whether we want to try and get aircraft. Any info? There are any DLCs coming out for Hearts of Iron? Yes. The new DLC looks really, really good, actually. So I'll give you a very brief overview of what I know of it. Ooh, wait. I can actually change my economy laws. I want earlier mobilization. I just noticed how much political power I have just sitting there quietly, not giving me any notifications about that. So yes, new Hearts of Iron DLC is going to have quite a lot of things. Like, they've definitely learned from their mistakes of not delivering nearly enough in the old ones. The first thing that they announced was battle groups are back in the game, so field marshals now command generals rather than just having infinite troops. Leaders themselves will have new traits, so each leader has an attack, defense, logistics, and tactics trait, so officers will have different abilities rather than just the traits themselves. Plus, I would assume that they're adding more traits, though they haven't talked about that at all. But it kind of makes sense if they're focusing more on the officers involved. I could get mountain infantry. That would probably make a lot of sense. 39. No, need to get these first. Then they have also announced that... I'm trying to remember now. There are a lot of UI updates, so when you're using factories, for example, instead of just having one factory per unit, per equipment piece, you can now have 5 or 10, so you can have up to like 150 factories allocated to one equipment production thingy instead of more. No, some of these are definitely DLC features. If you go to the Paradox forums, you can get all of them there. I'm just kind of saving you a little bit of work. Alright, agricultural cooperatives. So we can go for the communal approach, which is unlikely, or the export-orientated rice production, where we can become the granary of the world. Or self-sufficient. Monthly population plus 40%. Oh, that's still plus 30%. One factory. More monthly population or more production efficiency cap. Oh, I'm going to take the production efficiency cap. Which is beginning to suggest that maybe I should have gone for dispersed industry if I'm going for more production efficiency. It's fine. Right, what else is coming? You can capture equipment, and this is a DLC feature. So once you've finished a battle, you can actually capture equipment from the battle. The more your what unit was it? Maintenance companies increase the amount you capture. So there is now a very good reason to take maintenance companies over logistics companies because they will steal more stuff. I think that's also to do with unit speed. No, don't take me on that one. I think I just made that one up. So yeah, equipment capturing is a thing. You can now send equipment in Lend-Lease from like captured equipment, which apparently currently you can't. That is something I did not know. So captured equipment can be sent in Lend-Lease, though you will not get experience bonuses, unlike for equipment you've actually produced yourself, because you're not learning anything from it, you're just handing off what you've already stolen. What else? They are reworking Germany. They're adding more alternate history elements, as was mentioned, which basically means that you can restore the monarchy rather than going with Hitler. And in that scenario, you can go into an anti-socialist frenzy, essentially. So your enemies become either socialist France, which kind of hints at a rework for France as well, though they have not officially announced that one, but that's where my money is. Or you can go for Russia in a very Red Alert 2 kind of scenario, where you're trying to get the whole of Europe, and you're like the protector of Europe in this instance, and you're going after Russia, but that also gives Russia a lot of bonuses because they kind of see you coming, so that's kind of interesting. We could get better guns. We're already doing those researches, already doing that, so yes, I think we will take guns like so. Alright, I know I am missing a feature that I really like the sound of, and I cannot remember what it was. It's not aircraft, it's not capturing, it's not the reworks. Why would they? Well, it's not really reworking, it's adding more stuff. So one thing that they discovered from the popularity of things like the Great War mod, Kaiserreich in particular, Road to 36, is that people like alternate history. So instead of reworking the factions, they're adding alternate history possibilities. So there are a couple of edits which they're adding. Those are included free, but the DLC paid for stuff are the alternate histories. So like getting King Wilhelm back and restarting the German Empire, that is a paid DLC thing. And I'm anticipating that they're going to do more about France as a communist nation in a French alternate history. That would be my guess. So then you have basically Britain standing alone. That's it. War enthusiasm and mobilization. So they are stripping out national unity and bringing in enthusiasm and mobilization. So mobilization is like how much their industries are ramped up for the fight, and enthusiasm gives bonuses if you have a high enthusiasm, but as the war goes on you lose enthusiasm and it goes down. And also nations like Britain and France start with a very low enthusiasm because they really don't want to fight the war, but that can go up as like Churchill delivers his awesome speeches and that type of thing. The thing is, the current British tree is so crap, but I doubt they'll do much with the British tree because they already did a fair amount on it in Together for Victory. That's why I doubt they'll do Britain. It's either going to be the Soviet Union or France, and I really hope they add a tree for China, or Communist China. In fact, that could kind of make sense. Communist China and Communist France. They might do that, I don't know. But they've announced they're only going to do one more alternate history, so they're going to go with 2 alternate history focuses for this. Oh boy, what's the time? Yeah, I'm going to have to stop this recording soon because my throat's getting a bit sore, and I need to save myself for the next stream, which will be occurring at midnight, and I'll talk more about that when I'm ending this one. Ooh, I can see all the Japanese. Hi, Japan. How are you doing against Mongolia? Alright, we already beat them. We're still at war with Tibet, though. Liberia's gone against the Free Republic. Oh, they had their own civil war, Tuareg uprising-y thing. So Liberia picked their moment very well here. Now Tong could actually be in a bit of trouble, because they are capturing a lot of territory. Right, the Wadaya secure. Tuaregs are actually pushing forwards, though they just lost a bit there. And then Liberia. Mobilization is the rate at which manpower becomes available. Right, yeah, you're right. So instead of changing conscription laws, immediately giving you stuff, the mobilization gives you more. Yeah, you're right. My bad. I think they should leave the art history to the modders and focus on improving the base game. I don't disagree with you. I like that they are adding more. They just don't seem to be making a massive focus, and instead are adding more base stuff, which is probably the right way to do it. Alright. I think it is almost time to start building some more military factories and things. In fact, what I really need are more dockyards. So I'm going to splash out, and we're going to build loads of dockyards there, and then military factories in those places. And off we go. Now we can start mechanizing. Huzzah! And it'll be great. Islamic State of Afghanistan has capitulated. Damocles project, so they're going for nukes. Russia got Afghanistan. That's interesting. So did Persia get any of it? Are you just a Russian puppet now? Yep. Oh, man. Meanwhile, the Ottomans are slowly pushing into Arabia. They are on the outskirts of Mecca. If they take Mecca, then I think Arabia could well fall. I'm still at war with Tibet, but honestly, I'm just going to let you guys deal with them. 3 months until we finish our first ship. The ship we've been building for the last 3 years. It's about bloody time. Hail. It's about time. Motorized. We've got quite a few support equipment. We've got quite a few, which would suggest to me that we are ready for another upgrade. Can I do 2 of you at a time, I wonder? To become them. Yeah. We'll do that. And do you need retraining? Maybe. Because you are adding artillery. No, maybe not. Cool. And in fact, with my infantry equipment numbers, I'm wondering if I can extend their combat width. Although I'm still not actually producing any more infantry equipment, so maybe that's not a great idea. French Republic to 4 states. Tuaregs are out. Okay. Carlist Spain took 4. CNTFAI are out. Ooh, the Carlists are... I was going to say the Carlists are doing really well, but they've actually been mostly eaten. This is still kind of an interesting civil war, because the Carlists have just taken the CNTFAI resources, but a lot of their own front is already lost. Meanwhile, the communists are pushing along the north, but that doesn't really matter. All of the production's down here. AUS is holding, though I think they are still shrinking. Little Africa's still doing its thing. The Ottomans... Why? No, Ottomans, no! Stop killing yourself. Export-orientated rice production is done. We are no longer getting the effects of economic stabilization. Boom! We're back in business! Rice subsidy scheme, we get 100 political power. That's pretty nice. And also another civilian factory. Go ahead and work on that. Speaking of which, we are still in a war, so we can get partial mobilization, which means military factory construction speed plus 10%. Huzzah! We now no longer have any penalties. And then after that, we can get war economy. And we really start to ramp up our production. Of course, we have a rubber monopoly. Rubber is for aircraft. And motorized mechanized, but also aircraft. Rubber and aluminium. How are we doing for aluminium? Yeah, we don't produce any aluminium. Is there any aluminium around here, though? That's the wrong button. That's the one I meant. There's tungsten. Which is jets, isn't it? Oh man, I did not realize there was that much tungsten in Malaya. Yeah, I'm pretty sure tungsten is for jet aircraft. We can find that out, can't we? Tungsten, I was correct. Tungsten instead of oil. So we could wait until the 1950s and then start, or 1945, and then really start kicking out. We're not doing that, don't worry. I think I should research the 1936 fighter, however. Yeah, medium tanks are tungsten, I know. But I'm a little bit reticent to use tanks in jungles. Plus, we've already started on the superior firepower doctrine. There is aluminium south of Singapore. Oh, so there is. In fact, that is Singapore. That's Malaysia. Or is that Singapore? That's Singapore. What's that bit? Riau Isles. Interesting. And Australia does not. New Zealand does not. That's a lot of chromium. Interesting. I think Serbia just killed itself. Why? What did Serbia do? Serbia's still pretty strong. Have they gone to war with Austria? Yes. I mean, not necessarily. Serbia is actually really strong, and remember, it's the entire Belgrade Pact. So it's this versus this. I think Serbia stands a pretty decent chance here. Because these guys are battle-hardened. These guys, not so much. And the Dutch went communist, yeah. Just use artillery. Artillery works everywhere. I intend to. How did Indonesia get independent? Yeah, Dutch went communist. And when they do that, they lose everything. Anyway, with that, I am going to end. Ooh! Oh! To who? Oh, it was a naval invasion. Union of Britain naval invaded Lisbon. Alright, what a note to end on. Especially considering my previous playthrough was as the Portuguese. So thank you everyone for watching. I do hope you're enjoying this. If you are, then do hit that follow button so you get notified when I am live in the future. If you have really enjoyed this, then do consider subscribing so you get notifications. No. If you want to support the channel further so I can keep doing this, because I do rather enjoy it, it really does help the channel out. If you want to support the channel in other ways, then do check out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/MordredViking, where I upload most of these things. And then finally, I have a Discord channel, which is where I tend to post up most announcements, what I'm streaming, when I'm streaming, that type of thing. And also, it's where the Mordred Viking community hangs out. They're a cool bunch. They know a lot about games. And if you want to find like a multiplayer game or something, that's a very good resource for doing that. I will be back in an hour. I'm just going to relax my throat for a while and maybe get a Lemzip or something, because I will be doing the co-op game with Bussy of Total War Warhammer 2. I was not able to do it on Wednesday as we had intended, because that's when my graphics card decided to implode. I now have a new one, we're back in business, and we're going to be recording some of that this evening. So if you want to see Teclis and Tyrion of the High Elves doing their thing and winning stuff, then come join us again in an hour, and we're going to kick some arse, probably Skaven and Night Elves. We don't like Night Elves. So if you want to see some of that, it'd be great to see you. We'll be back here in about an hour. I'll see you then. Goodbye.